Welcome back to Real Estate Reality. I am Samantha. I'm here with my father, Sergio. We're both licensed real estate brokers. Before the break, we were just talking about how everything will affect FSBOs and buyers that are not being represented by all these new NAR rules that we have coming on us, right?
That's right. As I said before, they sold us down the river. Let me tell you what and how they're going to affect FSBOs, okay? The FSBOs are going to be out there. First of all, there's been changes in the rules according to Governor Hochul. We're going to touch that towards the end of the show. But FSBOs are not going to get the activity that they think that they're going to get, because a buyer's broker, a buyer's broker that's going to come in and try to sell a FSBO without having a listing agreement will need to have a buyer brokerage agreement. So again, who does FSBOs here on Long Island for sale by owners? They are the newer agents, the agents that have the least amount of experience. Very few veteran educated agents are doing FSBOs. The same thing with people that are looking to sell on their own without being a FSBO, in other words, like an expired listing. So expired listings are going to have the same problems. They're not going to be listed. They're not going to be represented by anybody. And here comes Joe Realtor. He wants to do a quick deal, but guess what? He is not going to be able to get paid because he does not have a buyer brokerage agreement. And a lot of people are thinking that, oh, we're going to be able to negotiate our fees with the brokers and everything. And yes, everything is negotiable. But folks, you got to understand how difficult it's going to be now for these newer agents. So my recommendation for all of you is to find a good agent, a veteran agent, possibly from the Executive Group Realty, because they are all good, and stick with that agent and let them be your buyer broker.
Yeah, so I'm predicting the emergence of a new business model for flat fee buyer fees in real estate, and they could have several impacts on the industry, I would say. I understand that they're trying to do like an increased transparency type of a situation with these new rules. So like a flat fee buyer fee may lead to greater transparency in pricing for buyers. I mean, with a flat fee, buyers know upfront how much they'll be paying for their agent services. It can help them better budget and plan. What do you think about that? I mean,
so
it's a double-sided sword.
So flat fees have always been a double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword, yeah.
And the reason why is because those people are known as discount brokers, right? What do you get with a discount broker? You do not get the service. You do not get the quality service that you would get from one of our Executive Group Realtors.
Yeah, so leading into that, it would change the buyer-agent dynamic.
Absolutely.
100%. The adoption of these flat fee rates may alter the dynamics.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm catching up on you now. Yeah. Buyers paying a flat fee have different expectations regarding the level of service they receive from their agent compared to those paying like a traditional commission. And I imagine the emergence of discount buyers agents will do this flat fee. They'll provide you with basically no services. That's what I'm thinking. So they'll show you the house maybe once. They won't represent you, and honestly, they won't be working in your best interest. That's just how I see it, and that's a problem.
The thing with discount brokers is that they want to just hit and move on.
Yeah.
Okay? They just want to come in, hit, get as much money as they can, whatever that fee is that they're discounting, and they want to move on.
They'll do the bare minimum.
Right. If there's a problem with the appraisal, if there's a problem with the inspection, if there's any problems with title, they're not there. If they need to do research, they're not there for you. People need to start realizing, and the veteran agents, I'm talking to you right now, you better do a better job of educating your clients, because this whole thing with the National Association of Realtors was born out of the lack of education, the lack of exposure that these sellers had through those agents, that those sellers felt that they were forced to pay a buyer broker's commission, which was never the case.
I mean, we have discounted listing agents now. Currently, we have discount listing agents who will just put your listing up on MLS for nothing, and then that's it. They will basically say, "See you later. I got the listing for
And
a flat fee."
those are disasters. There's one guy in particular that we all know about in
Zip
Nassau
it.
County, and that actually one of our agents, Frank, really has a huge
Hard on for.
dislike for and disdain, and that's what he does. And if you ever have a transaction with this gentleman, who happens to be, on the board of realtors, if you ever have a transaction with this guy, he will not do anything.
Don't fall for that.
Yeah.
Just if you see a flat fee for a listing, do not do it.
I don't think it's worth it.
No, it's
That's
not.
my
And this is why we're in this position now, because there's people out there like that are causing these types of problems, and there's no transparency with their clients. That's what it basically comes down to. What else was I going to say? Aside from that, these sellers are also getting this new property condition disclosure package. It's like 7 to 10 pages long. Mm-hmm. Did you hear about that?
I did.
I just want to make sure, because we're
and-
talking about that next.
and that's going to be very, very interesting to people.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
they're basically saying now that they have to fill out this 7 to 10 page packet, which basically discloses all these defects about the house, pretty much. So they used to be able to pay that $500 to the buyer. They can't do that anymore. That is no longer an option. You have to provide full disclosure. So, yeah.
And by the way, I did speak to an attorney today,
yeah,
who told me and explained to me what's going on. This is very early on with the property condition disclosure. It's very early on in the game, so the attorneys are trying to hash it out. What's today, the 18th?
Yes.
This goes into play on the 20th, okay? So what does this mean? It means that every seller that's selling their house will have to fill out this disclosure that Samantha was talking about.
yeah.
And disclose all the latent defects that are in your house that you know of. Okay, that's the caveat, that you know of.
No more hiding.
And who wants to do that?
Right.
Is that a selling tactic?
No.
So,
Aside from that, talk about how it changes for everyone all around.
yeah, well, the business is changing,
Yeah.
right? The business is changing. So now, if you want to sell your home, and this is what I'm telling all my for sale by owner people that I have contact with, the people that think that they are smarter than anybody else and that can take care of their own transaction. If you are a for sale by owner, or you're thinking about selling your home on your own, guess what? You will have to fill out a property condition disclosure. Like Samantha said, it's about 7 to 10 pages, and it asks you very distinct questions. If you're near the water, you have to know whether you're in a flood zone or what number of a flood zone you are. If you've had roof defects, if you've had mold, if you've had carpenter ants, if you had any type of insect infestation, you have to disclose it. Okay, that's for the sellers. Now, the buyers have to acknowledge this form before going to contract. They're saying, right now the law is saying that you have to do it before title, but that doesn't make sense, because once title has been ordered and you close, you can't do anything anymore. So you have to do all of this stuff before, at contract. Okay, so the buyer has the duty to sign this document to acknowledge that he got it. Now, they haven't gotten into this attorney was telling me that they haven't gotten into what the penalties are for not filling this out. So we really don't know, but what he is saying is that, that we are kind of hesitant because we are not 100% sure that this is something that we want to take a chance on.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, like, we could do a pre-inspection with that if we really wanted to. That way it could kind of mirror what's already written on that property, right? When you say do a pre-listing inspection with it? I mean, we do that anyway.
Yeah,
That's
we
our
definitely
service.
recommend a pre-listing inspection. That's why we have John Stelzer to do those. It's something that we definitely wish that more people would do, because it would solve a lot of problems at the beginning of your listing.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We're running out of time again. We're going to have to talk about this more next week.
Yeah, next week we're going to talk. I guess we're going to talk about commission percentages and,
Yep.
and what people are charging these days for those services. It used to be that people used to think that there was a specific commission. That's no longer the case. Commission is wide open. It hasn't been reduced, folks. Commission has not been reduced. You're still going to be paying the same thing. Join us next week at 5:35 every Monday.